Hi, I'm Weiser, and this is my report speech. The subculture which I'm a member of is that of the restaurant industry. Now, you may not realize that the restaurant industry is a subculture, but it definitely is. Members of this group come from every class, race, ethnicity, age, education level, and belief system you can imagine. I'm sure some of my classmates are part of this subculture as well. If you've ever worked in a restaurant, then you know that it is not for everyone. It takes a certain kind of mentality and personality to do the work that we do. Last week, one of my classmates suggested that you watch the movie Waiting to get a laugh and an idea of what goes on behind closed doors in a restaurant. If you've seen it, then you know that it's over-exaggerated, satire, and one of the reasons why many kitchens no longer have closed doors. I personally do not like this movie for that reason. It makes light of the work that hundreds of thousands of people do every day with pride. Now, the industry is actually a heavyweight contender in the consumer spending arena. There are publications like the Nation's Restaurant News, which is a top authority in food service information and marketing information, and it goes out weekly to hundreds of thousands of restaurants and businesses. You can find their website at www.nrn.com. Also, the National Restaurant Association, which was founded in 1919, has 380,000 members. And they also have a National Restaurant Association Political Action Committee, which was founded in 1977 with the mission of making the United States Congress not only pro-business but pro-restaurant. The National Restaurant Association is obviously put together to fight for the rights of restaurants, restaurant employees, and it's also a very authoritative voice to tell you how important this industry is to all of American consumerism. That website for the National Restaurant Association is www.restaurants.org. Now, I've been working in the restaurant industry for about 10 years now. And I've been working for the company I work for now for 7. I started as a part-time server, just working nights, and if you've ever waited tables, then you'll probably recognize this. This is my server book that I haven't used in quite some time. Actually found it in the garage recently. But I kind of don't need it, but kind of like to hang on to it because it represents the beginning of what's now become my career. It's where I kept my checks at the end of the night. I would turn and keep my money to keep everything organized. Now, the longer that I was there at this job, the more I learned. And the restaurant industry has a good bit of turnover, especially with wait staff. So I learned to be a trainer, and I trained, and then I also learned how to work in the office. I started doing some bookkeeping, invoices, and inventory, and things like that. I worked with some really great people, and I really loved my family at work. My general manager got promoted to another concept within our company as the regional manager, and I eventually left with her. The really fun part about working with her is that she was opening brand new restaurants. So I went along as the office trainer, and we opened 7 restaurants. During this time, I became her assistant and our regional administrative trainer. We were very busy while we were opening restaurants, but once we were done, things slowed down and there wasn't much work to do. So at this point, I had to decide what I was going to do next. I really didn't want to leave the restaurant industry. I really didn't want to leave my company. And I really didn't want to wait tables anymore, and I really didn't want to work at night. I was very, very lucky to get a job within my same company at another concept, working as a marketing manager, and I have nights off, I have weekends off, and I get to spend the holidays with my family, which is very rare in the restaurant business. Now, a separation within my subculture is that of the front of the house and the back of the house. Now, if you've worked in a restaurant, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And if you haven't, the front of the house are the people that you as a guest see when you come into the restaurant. They're the host, the server, the bussers, and the bar staff. The back of the house is the kitchen staff that you do or don't see. If you do, you don't see them very much. Generally, the back of the house is not interested in visiting with the guests out front, and the front of the house employees are not very interested in cooking in the back. Now, in some restaurants, this is a completely separate culture where each group sticks to their own group and they hang out with each other, but they don't intermingle. Most people that have worked in a restaurant will tell you that the best restaurant to work in is one where the front of the house and the back of the house get along together. Now, my mom was actually the one who told me that my subculture is the restaurant industry. My little brother has been in the industry for about 7 years now, and apparently we have our own language. When you're familiar with the inner workings of a restaurant, everything about a dining experience changes. Now, for starters, we go out to eat once every week, 2 weeks at least. When we go out to eat, we make sure that we go at a time that's not very busy, or we make sure to call ahead or make reservations. When we come in, we make sure that we get situated at our table in a way that we're not intrusive in the aisle, things like strollers and high chairs. And we also make sure that it's easy for our server to serve us. When we order, we talk to the server about the timing of our food, what's good on the menu. We treat them like the expert that they generally are. If they're not, it's pretty easy to tell that right away too. When the food comes, we check how it's cooked, and when we're done with it, we carefully stack our plates and we oversee the way that it's boxed. Now, I know this may sound like a lot of work, but it's really not. To us, it's second nature. It's what we do. It's what we enjoy doing. And I really like the fact that I know what's going on in the restaurant, or I have an idea of what's going on. And it's nice to be able to relax and have a nice dinner out. It takes a certain kind of person to work in the restaurant industry and be successful. These people are usually bond pretty tightly together, and they work as a team and a family. My kids have grown up in the restaurant. They are very comfortable ordering their own dinner at the table, working out front and helping with tasks in the front of the house, or going in the back of the house and knowing what areas are off limits, which ones aren't, and how to be careful back there. A lot of restaurant employees work hard and play hard, and they usually play together, whether it's having an adult beverage together after work at night or hanging out with each other's families during the day at the beach. You'll generally find us grouped by restaurant. So if you know what a mat shot is, or why no one wants the closing shift the night before the pest control guys come, you are definitely a part of my subculture. It is a great group of hardworking people who really know how to have fun. Thank you.